Pussy, wake up!
YIN came about from a combination of a lot of different ideas. First off, wanting to do something very low budget and self-contained, all taking place in one location with minimal actors. There's been this old, creepy storage container in my yard forever that I always thought would make a really cool and unique setting for a horror short film. Then the idea for the story actually stemmed from this one shot in the movie Persona. The movie starts off with this extremely unsettling montage of random images, but the one thing that stood out to me was this shot of an eyeball. The pupil sort of looks over and you see the little veins stretch and branch off, and I figured that that shot could be repurposed very well in an intense moment of fear for a character. Chinese water torture was something that I had known about since I was a kid. Some of my friends and I used to do the water drips to each other just thinking it was funny to see each other freak out. But the more research I did for this short film, the more I realized it was a legitimate, psychologically damaging torture method that would drive people insane.
I actually don't want to do this test right now.
All right, let's get her out.
When writing out this story and thinking about the philosophy behind Chinese water torture, I immediately connected it to the Chinese philosophy of yin and yang. Yin and yang, of course, is a symbol for duality and balance, but yin alone stands for passive force. Yin symbolizes water, darkness, stillness, which is why it ended up being the perfect title for the short film. I loved the contrast of something as passive and peaceful as water being so destructive and chaos-inducing.
Okay. Scene 1B, take 1.
You know, out of the two of us, I got the drippiest drip. Like, his shit was like Party City. Mine is like Louis Vuitton, Gucci belt right here. We really out here balling and booling up in the mass murderer business.
Yeah.
The theme of yin and yang is also what influenced a lot of the choices in cinematography. Very balanced, centered compositions, a lot of still shots with little to no camera movement until he escapes, and then we immediately flip that on its head, switching to a shaky, rabid handheld camera motion. We also made sure to use these new close-up lens filters to get some really clean-looking macro-level shots of things like the water droplets when they drop from the ceiling and when they hit the forehead.
Busy, wake up!
Another big technical aspect that I wanted to focus on was the sound design. This being a more psychological story, I knew that there would have to be this emphasis on sound in order to get the audience to the same state of mind as the torture victim. Luckily, during research, I came across another useful torture method called the shepherd tone. It's used in music all the time, and it's basically this audio illusion that makes it seem like a certain tone is ascending or descending in pitch forever. I figured the best way to represent what was going on in the victim's head was to have the hit of the water droplets eventually echo out into their own distorted, loud shepherd tone. One of the many challenges we faced while shooting was the chain we had not being long enough to wrap around my entire body. A lot of post-work went into adding chains where there weren't any before, but the main visual effects task was all in the water effects. Aside from the one underwater shot that we were able to do practically with a fish tank and Garrett's feet, everything had to be added afterwards through editing. This was the first short film I've ever done with a CGI component, which was the big wave that crashes into the storage unit. There was a much more ambitious shot planned out with the water filling up the container and the camera pulling back, and the two guards actually were supposed to drop and dissolve into water forms themselves, and everything was working great in post, except the timing. The timing of the water coming in was very off. It was way too fast for the camera to move back in time and the guards to drop down. Basically, we ended up dragging poor Owen across the floor 10 times for no reason. Fortunately, the scene still works pretty well without it. We all worked really hard to get this short film off the ground, so I hope you guys enjoyed the finished product. Shout out to Garrett and Luke for all the behind the scenes pictures and footage. And in the spirit of Yin and Yang, there's a brand new black and white cut of Yin out now. Go check it out.